Hello, everybody.
Okay.
Hello.
Hi, Pat.
Hey, Cheryl.
Okay,
So for
I'm
today's
going.
meeting,
What happened to Jenny?
we have an attendance.
Oh,
That's
there's
okay. So far, we have in attendance Cheryl, Dave, Pat, and Jenny. And today is 10:23.
Thank you, Dave. Okay, I just wanted to give everybody an update and start as close to time as we can, so we can get everybody's input. We're still in funding mode. I have spent the last month basically filling out every form possible. We're registered on the government sites. We're registered on all the donation sites. We're registered on all the nonprofit sites. I've been just doing a huge amount of computer work and getting us accounts and getting us registered so that as these grants come to bear in December, we're ready to apply for them. We did have one grant, I hope you guys saw in your email and in the text, that we didn't get a chance to actually fully apply for. They turned us down as not having enough humanities in it. So that took a lot of our time. And then we're trying to also get ready for Thanksgiving. So in this agenda, we want to talk about, Dave wants to talk about the agenda for November, and he wants for the Thanksgiving event, and a little bit about the video he's putting together. And for me, I want to hear from everybody about fundraising. We're right now in that fundraising push, and I launched a campaign on LinkedIn. And Pat, if you look at your email, I made you administrator of the Touch Mother Earth LinkedIn business page. So you'll see it there. You were invited. So if everybody could go to the LinkedIn, if everybody could go to the LinkedIn site also, I'll send you all invites, and like that page, follow us on LinkedIn so that we are building an audience. I have 8,000 contacts on LinkedIn, so I might as well use it. So I'm launching more business campaigns on there than I would on Facebook. So
Right.
that's
And
kind of the update.
we have been both.
Dave?
Well, I was going to say with Facebook, we both have been having issues, and it may be something that will disappear after the election is over, but we're finding that when we're posting, occasionally we get blocked and just simply can't post. And it could be something as simple as a picture, a photo, nothing that has any reason to have any content that would cause it not to be accepted by the general public. So we cannot depend on Facebook as our only means. But one thing that, since Cheryl was speaking about LinkedIn, we found that they have a new section where you can post job offerings. And Cheryl, you want to describe it? You tried it? It's a free to start, and then it costs money, or how did that work?
Yeah,
I believe it's a free sample. In any case,
we registered as a nonprofit. Okay. Basically, we registered as a nonprofit, started a Facebook page, and then as a page business, we were allowed to post job offerings, including for nonprofit volunteers. So it's really exciting. The minute I posted it, we got a number of different resumes of people that would be helping us do video editing, and some professionals that stepped up because they're not out there right now to volunteer some time to us to help with, in editing, and camera people. in various parts of the country that will jump in as volunteers to do some camera work and video work and graphics work and marketing work. So it's pretty exciting.
We just lost your audio, Cheryl. So the idea is we're probably running a little bit slower than we thought, but we understand that going slow actually has the advantage because we're thorough, we're not making mistakes, we don't have to backtrack. It's giving us time to make sure that we're doing it with some planning, and that's one reason why the video has been slower to come. We do have some sample out, but our main thing is we wanted to use content from our Earth Day, and we have found that it is somewhat difficult to get access to videos that were taken back in April. It's very unfortunate that folks did not save their own video if it was, for example, Facebook Live. All they have to do, and they can still do it now, is they have to scroll back all the way to the date, April 22nd, 23rd, whatever the day that they offered their workshop or performance or seminar, and they have to download it to their own computer, in which case they then have an MP4 file, which they could send to us, put it in a Dropbox or whatever. And from there, we can take it, add it to our collection for our website, and from there, then we can edit out any sections that are usable, but we don't have that content, which is sad. And it's sad because it's volunteer information, but at the same time, it's stuff that's already been recorded, and as long as they're willing to have it be used, then I would see no reason why not. It's to their benefit since they get recognized. But in any case, we have gotten some really good clips. The other thing is we had to, you have to literally listen through someone's 45-minute or hour and a half talk, and I might be picking out 22 seconds of content. And that 22 seconds can be a very powerful soundbite, but that's what it takes. And then we have to take that out and then decide where it's going to go in the video. As an example, we had a teacher who in her talk, and of course this is right as the pandemic was hitting us, was talking about how we need to bring education into the house from what is going on outside. We have to bring the outside world. She literally was saying it in a different way than what our motto is of bringing the outside in. So it was good to have it as a professional teacher, and she also had some content of a garden that she had built with her students. So it's beautiful when we find them, and eventually we'll have a longer tape. I realize our first one, probably based on Jenny's, which was a minute, somewhere between 2 minutes is probably the most we're going to get anybody's initial attention span. So we have to get the details out and minimize any fluff.
Yeah, if
So we do have
if you guys have
content.
annotated like quotes and things you've collected, I can work
We
on
do.
like together.
Somebody's getting feedback.
Let Jenny talk.
Not pretty high quality, and I have actually high quality B-roll. So it's like very professional. So if we mesh some of that, and you guys write up the copy, like if you've seen in my video, I either have text or a narrator with a script. But you me the script, and you say, whatever it is, touch Mother Earth, bring me outside, and like 20. And here's what you want to do: you want to quantify as much as possible. How many people have you served? How many events have you had? How many acres are you stewarding? Quantify everything as much as you can. Then put together a script. Send me the clips of the visuals you want. And if you do that for for me, I will put together an extremely professional promo for you.
Okay.
Well, we could keep collecting clips and give it to you. I know that we do need to get this out so that we have it ready before Friendsgiving.
Well, the good news is I didn't have time all the last 3 months because I was traveling, but now I'm back in LA and I have a little bit of time. So I could do a pretty quick turnaround for you guys, which isn't always the case. So if you're able to put something together, I'm happy to donate my time here as much as I can.
Okay, Jenny, can you take those videos off of YouTube that have been loaded up there, or do you need the MP4? Or can you take down the MP4
I
from
can
YouTube?
extract the videos off of YouTube and turn them into an MP4, but what I need from you guys, what I do not have time to do is look through all your videos and see which quotes you want. I need you guys to put together a script for me and tell me it's
Absolutely.
at this video and it's at 1 minute and 20 seconds that we want that quote, you know? And then I will take the video, I'll extract it, I'll get it all loaded up and do it that way.
Okay. Well, that's
Okay, Dave's been
basically
doing
what we
that,
have
so
been
yeah.
doing, but it does mean that I have to go to every single person's page. I have to scroll back to April. Now, if you're anybody like me, it takes 8 minutes just to scroll back in time just to find the video. And then I cannot take their video from live. I don't have a way without paying a service that will convert their video. We had a free service. It gave us 5 trials, and after 5 trials, it was no longer free.
Well, why don't you make a list? Well, this is, okay. One way to do it would be to just have, like, make a list of who those people were and what the quotes were, and I can hop on a Zoom meeting with them or something, or we can have them video and just have them redo the clip. That's one thing. The other thing is you can use the search bar to search. If you remember what the title of the video is, you can search and search posts and it'll come up.
That we have.
I think also, Dave, if you do a Google search, I think that there's a way to look through timeline by year or month. Google it. I'm pretty sure there might be a way. I don't know if you can only do it on your own.
I'll find out. Facebook used to allow you to search by date about 3 years ago. It was very easy to go to someone's timeline and at least pin it down to the nearest month.
But I guess maybe not.
And I think it was the start of each month you could jump to. Well, just physically scrolling down is not a problem. Some people did not save their video, but they can still download it. So they would have to either download it and send it to us, or we could pay the $60 and get this service that will take every video that you want. It doesn't care what the URL is, and it will pull it apart.
Might be worth it.
Dave, okay, 2 things. Have you tried going to the link in the Excel file? Because during Earth Day, first of all, we only need 5 minutes of stuff. So we don't need every video off of Earth Day. We need 5 minutes of content. So, okay, but let me finish talking. Okay, I created an Excel spreadsheet that you have that have links to their Facebook Live. Those links might still work to bring you back to April. So instead of going through Facebook, go through the Excel sheet that I did. Have live links there. And that might give you directly to that video that you're looking for. Then you could see if it's worth using. Okay.
Sure.
So yeah, that's
now some
one.
examples
and,
of
as far as video, we have to. Well, I think the reason I haven't purchased any of that stuff, we have Adobe Premiere, Jenny. That's what we've been using, and we purchased that early, very early from Olga late last year, as a nonprofit link. I haven't bought any of the conversion software because I'm confused of what actually is the right one, and I don't want to purchase one and then find out that it's not converting right. And so this is a technical issue that I was hoping some of our volunteers who are professional videographers can say, oh, this is the best conversion software, you know, use this one, so that we make one purchase and not more.
Yeah, it's unfortunate
So,
that
but we
it's
need to
not
get
one thing
Dave
that's
as
easy to
helping me.
find reviews. What I did is I originally looked up how to save or download videos from Facebook. I found maybe 7 or 8 resources, and 3 of them immediately got flagged as a malicious site. So they're probably being used, I don't know, for porn or something that we don't want, obviously. So a couple of them, they immediately asked for a price, and the one that Cheryl found that was free, we were able to use. Now, actually, I could get 5 more free ones on her computer, which wouldn't hurt. But yeah, if we want to purchase one, the one that I was using that was free and then wanted to charge, that's probably our best one because I know it already works. Anyway, it's
Jenny,
not
what
too
are you
bad an
using?
investment. It's $50 or $60.
Um, I have Adobe Premiere Pro also, which I am okay at, but I mostly outsource to my editors to use Adobe Premiere. So that's the other thing. If you guys have any kind of budget,
Yeah.
I can outsource this to high quality editors for really cheap on the cheap because they work with me like that. But I also have a phone program called Video Leap, which is like really good considering I do it on my phone, and I pay $35 a year.
Now, is that for Apple or
It's called Video
Android or
Link.
both?
Video Leap, and yeah, I can. I'll share it with you in the chat. But yeah, I have an Apple. I don't know if it
Great.
works for Android or not.
Okay. So that
Okay,
was the one
send
thing
us
that's
that,
slowing
but
us down
Dave
was
can
really not.
definitely, if, okay, but if you're using Adobe Premiere, we can also send you the Adobe Premiere file with the videos in
Yeah.
them, and you could do
Yeah.
some manipulation of that too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, so we just get, because Dave's been working those. We've got like 2 or 3 sample files with that, and on Adobe Premiere. So we could send you that, and so you can start to get the flavor. I mean, basically, we're using the PowerPoint for the titles, okay, that show, you know, what our mission is and stuff, and then it goes into various videos that Dave has pulled out and is editing that shows, you know, the eclecticness of our content, and you know what we could bring to what we bring to what the nonprofit brings to the world, that type of thing, and a little bit about mission. So it just kind of goes in and out and says, this is the title, this is what we do. At the end, I put an end card in there that says, you know, donate here and stuff. And since I did all the paperwork and everything, we could now do a campaign, and I've got the campaign set to go. That's the other thing I've been working quietly. I just haven't pushed the button because I want the video to go with the campaign, so that at the end of the video, you know, donate here type of thing. It's kind of a package. I'm sorry, I talk with my hand. In Zoom, I have to learn not to talk with my hands.
Yep, I'm here.
Something that, you know, Cheryl had mentioned is that we have already, you know, applied in the one sense and it didn't show enough humanities. We have to make sure that our video shows the depth and the scope of what we're capable of doing. And a lot of these folks, you may only have one shot, and at best you would wait a whole nother year for another opportunity. So we really don't want a video to go out there that doesn't represent us well enough or is too dry, that people don't, sit beyond 30 seconds of it. Now, I do like since we have gone into production back in April, I am very critical when I'm watching other TV programs, I'm looking at the camera work, I'm looking at the editing. I'm picking up a lot that I never thought about because now I'm looking at it and listening to it with the eagle eye and ear. And as a result, I am seeing the beauty of having a collage, slide, and video, and then having light music on top of that and voiceover as needed, and seeing how I'm paying attention to how it gets blended so that it's not overwhelming. You know what you're focusing on, whether it be the voice and the visual or more the visual. So it's good. I realize that this is just one video of many we'll be making. So part of me has to just jump in and get it done. But at the same time, I don't want it to look trashy.
Just checking on them.
I've been doing the same
Okay.
thing. I've really just like watching and observing how this works. And do any of you know Misha Lazari from the Permajam Circle? She's the one who did my voiceover. And if you need someone to do voiceovers, she's really great. But anyway, moving on.
I think I know it's from the. All right. Well, so, send me that person on Facebook, and I'll friend them.
Okay.
That'd be good. So.
Okay. Well, I'm going to send you some of our Adobe Premiere files, Jenny.
Okay.
Good. She sent us video leap. Perfect. So we are coming up to Thanksgiving. We've got about 5 weeks to plan for it. Actually, I guess yesterday was probably 5 weeks to Thanksgiving. Might be 4 weeks. In any case, my original goal, which I've tamed down, was to try to replicate a smaller version of our 5-day Earth Day. And we've sort of come to realize that's probably a little too much to try to put into a Thanksgiving weekend, because there definitely are still people who will be visiting family, will be on the road, will not be in front of their computer or, want to sit down and watch something on their phone. So I think the content that we offer is going to be a little more critical. So what I have here, let me pull this up. I'm going to do a quick share screen. This is what I've got so far for Friendsgiving topics. Now, we had already spoken about dinner socials, and our goal there, we already had dinner when we were doing it in April, and it was successful for several reasons. First reason was we brought together people who did not know each other. So we were in Florida. We had some people from Florida joining us. We had people from New Jersey joining us. We had people from elsewhere. And we were pretty much the only one that knew everybody. So it was really cool that they got to say, oh, I heard you talk about that person. It gave us a sense that we were eating dinner as a family. It was kind of fun. We each brought our own food. And I think we'll have at least one each day, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. People can have their Thanksgiving leftovers or whatever they want to bring to it. We could have a pie social, everybody bring their desserts or something. But I want to go beyond that. I would like to offer some things such as discussion of loneliness during holidays. It's something that many people go through regardless. And now with travel restrictions, they're telling you, don't go home and see grandma, you could get her sick, etc. So we are considering what I would like to bring in a psychologist or psychiatrist for this to lead a Zoom where people can develop coping skills for during the holiday, as well as adapting and coping for the corona restrictions in general. So something that would last beyond the holidays, because we are going into the colder season. I know from talking to the other people who put out events, our greatest concern is what are we going to do when we can no longer meet outside? Or we cannot meet inside with the number of people that we were used to having, say 15, 20 people. Now maybe we have to think like a restaurant where we have 25% capacity. But if we have the same number of people, we need a bigger space, whether it be a barn, a warehouse, um, classrooms that aren't used. We're thinking in terms of buildings that are being underutilized for the winter, and seeing if we can get them to donate the either waiving the rent or some great reduction in cost or more space for the same cost that would allow us to continue our programs in the colder weather. And then last but not least, we will have just finished the election. So approximately 50% of the US is not going to be happy. So,
Hopefully
we
it's
have to
not
deal
us.
with, well,
Hopefully we're happy and we don't want to deal with those people. No, there is
well, regardless,
other post-election. Yeah. There is other
the
post-election
beauty of the
blues. For
event,
example, we're so busy and keeping your attention on the election, and it gives everybody like something to do. And this post-election blues would be less social talking about it because you got what you wanted. And so, yeah, either side could go through that. Kind of like after
well,
the
it's going to be
honeymoon
a
thing.
change. But
Not
regardless
us. We're
of,
still on a honeymoon.
who you voted for or any of that, we're going to be going through a transition, and anybody who follows science knows that we're going to have an increase over the winter. Simply either people are going to choose to meet and, run the risk, or people are going to choose not to go, or they're simply not going to go if it's an outdoor event because it's too cold for them. I'm not a particular winter person. I don't go skiing or ice skating or hiking in the winter. So we have to come up with activities that are going to keep us through the 2 to 4 months of cold weather, as well as possible restrictions of travel and gatherings, based on increases in each state, increases in the coronavirus cases. So let's stick with topics. Going with topics, what are some other topics that people would like to see other than their traditional ones like yoga or meditation or blessings? I'd like to have some things that will help us to create strategies for the winter. Any ideas out there?
Well, what about self-care? Is that
Good.
too close to what you did do with yoga and sound healing? I don't know.
No, because self-care could be everything from forcing yourself to create a routine that you might not normally like to do, whether it be, get up and make sure you take your vitamins because you're depressed, you forget. So do that first thing in the day instead of later.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
Creating
it's
an
something as
exercise
simple as
routine.
hygiene. It's as simple as making sure you see the sun once a day, at least. It's
Yes.
like going back to self-care is really going back to the basics.
I totally agree. When we were in Florida, Cheryl and I took a walk almost every day. If it was raining, we might wait until the rain stopped. We didn't care if it was at 2 in the afternoon or 2 in the morning. We tried to get out because, you're breathing some fresh air, you're seeing nature. Um, we were friends with some of the wild cats that were out there, and we'd follow them around and they'd follow us around. Just developing that healthy routine. When we came back to New Jersey, we still do walks.
A fun
So it's great.
activity might be like, this is just kind of random, but maybe just an icebreaker activity of sorts. Like here's just an example. But
Okay.
if you come to come to Friendsgiving having already Googled the meaning of your name, what does your name mean? And like how do we learn about each other and our ancestors through the meaning of our names? That's just an example. You can Google icebreaker activities and find like, you know, any simple one. Sometimes it's just as simple as going around
Okay.
the table and asking like, uh, what was, you know, what's one positive thing you're looking forward to, or you know, any icebreaker activity.
Okay. And
Yeah, like
we just.
Carla said, boosting immunity.
I love that.
For example,
Carla, that's a
Yep.
great one.
that's really good.
Immunity in changing seasons. I love that. Yeah, that's great.
Hi, Diana.
Hi, sorry to jump in so late.
And
That's okay.
Nice to see you guys.
Hi. Hi.
So we are coming up with some topics for our Friendsgiving, which will be, you know, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the weekend of Thanksgiving. Other than dinner socials, we're looking at coping skills between not being able to go outside, stress of not being able to visit people during the holidays, not being happy after the election, and then dealing with things like self-care, definitely boosting immunity. Diana, some topics for self-care or any other icebreakers, any ideas you might have?
Yeah, I have a friend who did a really nice massage for stress, like self-massage, like on the shins and the, you know, forehead, like myofascial massage that is really effective at reducing stress. It's really good self-care and easy to do via video and at home. That pops into my
Okay,
mind.
well, we definitely know plenty of people who, no, we definitely know plenty of people in massage, and I like that idea of as part of self-care. I definitely.
Yeah, you know, meditative techniques are also common, easy, popular.
What was the last one?
Meditation, like different kinds of meditative techniques.
Okay. All
Um,
right.
there's, you know, a whole variety.
definitely stress reduction.
Yeah. Um, something that can be done interactively. I mean, you could also, as part of that, you know, offer some self-care suggestions to do at home, like baths, teas, you know, maybe it could be an interactive make your own tea recipe, calming tea.
Making tea. Tea blends.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we know a
Slash
few
food.
people. Maybe we could might be able to get
Slash
Olga
foods.
or Mary
And
Pierce.
Carla's talking about skin. There's like a skin detox
Mm-hmm.
that she.
So skincare in particular.
Carla said skin detox. There's a method that she has.
Okay, so skincare topicals and detoxing, and that could also, we could talk about diet. Now,
Yeah.
post Thanksgiving, people eat too much. Now, diet is it's a touchy subject for many, but it's also, there's so many different ways to think about diet, which, come under self-care, but they definitely could have to do with setting goals, not just changing food, but setting the goals, whether it be the exercise or the meditation. You know, we process food very differently when we're under stress. We also eat differently when we're under
And during
stress.
the
I know.
holidays.
Now, it may not be warm enough to do activities outside, but certainly we could try to encourage one or two outside activities for that weekend, even if it's as simple as going out with a camera and then taking a walk and bringing other people outside visually with you, watching you on your walk, identifying seasonally what's out there.
I could do a qigong exercise outside that could also be done inside.
All right, good. We're coming up with some more topics here. We don't want to necessarily repeat what we did with Earth Day because it was a whole different topic centered on outdoors and nature, but at the same time ended up being filled with lots of workshops, a lot of live music, which was good.
Okay, I think that's enough for Friendsgiving.
Yeah,
We're going to do 2 days. Yeah, there's plenty of
Well, it's
topics.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Okay.
So 2.5 days.
2.5
roughly.
days. Yeah, right. Typical festival. Excellent. Okay, so do you have everything you need for that, Dave, now?
There
Yeah.
is one more
Yeah,
thing I'd
stuff
like
to
to
share.
propose for Friendsgiving, if it's okay.
Okay.
I'd like to send you a link actually because I don't want to misrepresent it. But it's called, it's a project of my affiliates in Bermuda and Barbados, and it's called Thanks Loving, and it's a story that we're weaving into some of the We Are Mother Earth stuff about the third emancipation of the African slaves, or I don't know. It's I don't know exactly what it is, but I think that right now in the climate of Black Lives Matter and the whole like this division that's happening with us, like Thanksgiving is a really great time to like honor even like the people that are not that gave us this land, you know, like our natives and our, you know, our brothers and sisters of color. And you know, we kind of sit in a position of privilege being able to sit around a table and talk about self-care and meditation and detoxing and food and nutrition when our brothers and sisters are still struggling, you know. So I'd like to just send you this link. I don't want to misrepresent it, but take a look at it and maybe there could be some kind of short discussion about it.
So
I
some
love that
kind of
Okay,
idea of
also,
topic that
having,
Dave,
would be
like
honoring the
maybe,
indigenous.
Diana?
I love
Gotcha.
that idea of
Diana?
having some kind of connection, you know, context for the world we live in and are trying to grow and evolve from and towards together. Yeah, if we can think of
Hey, I
more
was
of those
thinking that
kind of
maybe,
ideas, great.
I was thinking that maybe we could ask Olga to give us a video on how she's supporting the Native Americans, okay, through COVID. And that might be an interest to the group doing Thanksgiving, where they can, you know, honor the Native American indigenous beginnings that weren't necessarily offered, but more, you know, of, you know, some of the history of Thanksgiving, but more honor, like, you know, they're giving supplies and everything over to the Native Americans during COVID, and they're doing some public interest. And so, you know, a short video on what they're doing might lead in, this is like, might be appropriate this weekend since it's about giving, Okay, and it's very much about the indigenous people of the United States, and maybe have Delmar do something honoring the Native Americans. I
Delvin,
mean, we should step out of the
let's,
Thanksgiving role and more into honor where we came from and what we were given or what we took.
Yeah, as you're
quote unquote.
talking, I have another idea too. We could have a one event can be a sharing circle where everybody, present just shares a little bit, and they can research in advance if they don't know about the land that they're inhabiting, and share about the people that live there, and sort of as a Thanksgiving for giving thanks for the abundance of the earth that we inhabit and that feeds us, and as a healing, for anybody who's interested, as a healing, this reciprocal exchange of energy of giving back to this earth that it gives so much. But and sort of a teaching piece where we all learn about each other's lands that we have the privilege to inhabit.
Yeah, I think that's a
I do
really
like
good
that.
focus, Ruth.
I agree.
Well, I would like to take the idea of Olga, who has connections with Paza, having take this one step further. Literally, because they have now already sent several tons of food and some other supplies to the various tribes in North and South Dakota. Let's see if we can have live phone in from the reservations talking about the success from their end, what it means to them to be recognized, honored, and given the same equality and access to medical supplies, the PPE. In fact, one of the things that I've been doing with Olga is before she goes and sends seed and food, I said, have you done the research to make sure that we're sending them food that they would eat anyway? In other words, don't go sending them some cans of spam, which is not in their diet and is not healthy. Obviously, we're sending healthy food, but as far as sending seeds, we got to make sure they're going to grow in that region. Are they historical seeds that have been around for 300 years? The traditional corn and beans are not the ones that you might buy from Burpees. So you've got to find the indigenous sources, and that's what they need. But let's find out what their reception is, because we've seen some written feedback, but if we could actually get them to appear live and talk about it, and very much, I mean, I could interview Olga, and then Delvin could interview them, and have this commonality of how we can continue this program.
Yeah, and either tagging along that or within that context or as a separate piece. As you were talking before, I thought of having her, that example of that, mutual aid, and that grassroots that just grew and grew from this heart seed, being an example, an inspiring example for people who are feeling helpless, or don't know what to do with their time and have this privilege and don't know where to send their money, to just give them an idea of how they can do something that feels good, whatever it might be. It might look like this or something else, but just to have examples, share examples. Maybe it's another sharing circle where we call people in who want to participate or listen, to share ways that they are doing this kind of service to their community or to the world, or whatever it might be, because sometimes, especially after you retire, you kind of, or even when you're busy working and it's like the days drone on and life is purposeless, and it's nice to just kind of spark some, you know, get these neurons firing, and maybe it'll get people inspired to remember something that they've always wanted to do, or be involved with, or help, you know, or maybe they have some creativity, untapped creativity. So yeah, a sharing circle that inspires people to help others and be of service to their community.
Okay, talking circle is an absolute. How would we do passing the torch from person to person? I know on Zoom you can do the raise your hand, but it'd be
The way
really
I
cool if
do
we could
it
find
is
some
just
symbolic.
guiding it. Yeah, the way I do it is guiding it, because like you just have one person who just points around the circle on the screen as they see it. So you just call on people and go around the circle.
Ah, okay. So they choose the next person, they pass it on to somebody, and then when that person finishes, they choose
Yeah,
another
the kind
person.
of
I like that.
moderator. Yeah.
Okay. Now we can also do sharing circles that can include poetry and music, where everybody listens while one person is doing their performance. Um, so basically, a mic, open mic, so to speak.
Yeah, I love that for either workshopping something they're working on, whether it's a song or a piece of music, uh, or showing their
Yeah, here's
painting
your
and how they, yeah, I love that.
yeah, open mic show. Here's your chance to showcase something that you have a select audience. You're at your house. You're comfortable. Nobody's going to yell at you if you made a mistake and all that. So definitely, I think the whole idea, if you had to say what Friendsgiving is about in a nutshell, is trying to give you a virtual hug, literally a way to have that communication that you're missing, and it's only amplified because it's Thanksgiving and now you're stuck home, you're not with your normal family, you're not in another state, you're not, out playing in the snow or whatever, with your cousins. So having that, anything that brings people sharing. I mean, as an example, if we go back to the indigenous people, if we had an open Zoom, how many people have never actually had the chance to talk to someone who lives on an Indian reservation? We have no idea what their life is like unless you've been there. I know people who were at Standing Rock and came home and it totally changed them. Totally. They were at the talking circles there, the pipe circles, and
That
they
was me,
they
by the
just said,
way.
oh, you were one of them. Yeah, you were one of them.
I'm
Our
just saying,
friend
like
Monica Sparrow.
Before Standing Rock, I mean, I guess I had met John Lee Rucker and Permajam, but I mean, you guys know me. I'm an entertainment girl, and Standing Rock really is what changed me from the inside out.
It's a very humbling. It was, yeah. I mean, I'm seeing all the stuff coming up in my Facebook feed of where we were 4 years ago, leading up to Thanksgiving, when the veterans came and said, "Hey guys, stop this," and it it's only been 4 years, and not a lot really. The progress felt so strong at the time. That was the biggest standoff I've ever seen. The whole world was watching that. I had a sense we were going to go into that again with Black Lives Matter, but that didn't. Instead, that resorted, well, it also resorted into tear gas and violence, but it was a very different campaign than trying to prevent a pipeline from running through and possibly destroying water. And of course, history has already shown it's leaked twice since being built.
Oh,
So,
can we maybe
yeah, I
also
would like
do
to.
a water gratitude ceremony for this Thanksgiving?
Okay, I like that.
And my friend for Joy Spring did Blues, Spirit, and Soul, and it was kind of like a music lesson / jam. But if you look at it, the first and second one, it felt so great just to be together and be invited to connect with nature and just to, in that vibratory space, then strum some music and create. It's like this creative process of finding your own voice and making the music that is connected to source. And it was just a very sweet and fun way for children or adults to, it could be a whole family, all ages gathering. I'm sure he would be willing to do that.
How did he do that if they were in different locations?
It the sound is a little not totally professional, like fluid, but you still could
Well,
hear
were they
each
trying to
other.
sing at the same time?
Yeah, it was
Did
just,
they
we
actually try to?
sometimes took turns and sometimes just jammed a little together. There was some talking, some taking turns, some 5 minutes of jamming together. It worked. You didn't always hear each other, but it worked okay. You can watch the video.
Okay, I have not. I will watch it, and I will say that with strong interest, because all the drum facilitators and other musicians I've spoken to,
Totally.
even with Jam Kazam, have not been able to play together. The distortion of time delay, and
that's why
Zoom
it's not
does
like
not
a
listen to music.
professional jam to get like it's I don't know about like getting on the same
It
rhythm.
could be a quarter second, but it can be a quarter second off. It throws people off.
Yeah,
completely.
so I would say that it could be an intimate circle and maybe held,
Okay.
and you can have your sound on and off. Was like one girl was very shy and wanted her sound off, but that still encouraged her to make music and make sound in her own space. And so it worked. It
Okay.
worked really beautifully. It's
that you could do if you're
harmonious like jam that you can be like, wow, that sounded great together. But no, it's an experience for yourself and your own soul.
Okay. I mean, I have had success with a drum class where I would play something and then the other person would repeat it back. So I've had success, but we cannot. If I try to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, by the time at 1, you're hearing 2. You're 2. You're hearing 1.
It's more like unschoolish because it's not about getting it right or doing it on rhythm with each other. It's about freeing the music from within your soul and that resonates, that nature responds to.
Okay. I think it will work. I think the people who are going to have the hardest time will be professional musicians, but anybody
so maybe
who
this is
casual
not
and enjoys it
necessarily
for its
for
content.
professional musicians. It's for people who want to learn, who have just want to pick up an instrument or try, sing with their voice or pound on their chest and make some sound, or bring, for the kids or it's really for any age. But it's more for fun than for
well, we did. I'll look at the video and we
together. Yeah, look at the video. You'll see what I mean.
Now we actually did have one lady. We had one lady who was doing a songwriting workshop. It was designed for kids. It was good, although no kids showed up. The adults that were there had fun adding, another line to the song. They literally created a song during the process, and it was a simple enough chords so that, you could do it. In fact, I think that people could sing in a round. All right, so I'm going to do that. Crafting a song. Well, that's just part of it. I think, being able to sing along, like the songs that we do at a fire circle. The river is flowing down to the sea, and Mother Earth kind of songs would be a lot of fun for that. What else do we have? Well, that's a beautiful emblem. Ah, okay, yes. Bright Hawk does her circles where we have the sound off. That's a good point. She's another person that we could pull from over that weekend now. Typically, she does a Friday night fire circle, so maybe we could include that into what we already have planned. You know, one thing, if somebody already has an activity and we can fit it into our schedule, they can include their folks that they already have. We did that with yoga. So if they normally had a yoga class on Friday or Saturday at 8 a.m., we included it and they opened it up to the public. So we are also considering how we're going to use this as a fundraiser. Basically, do we ask people to make a donation up front and over the course, which seems to make sense, and give them a couple choices such as a PayPal link, a Venmo link, a Cash App link, etc. They can pay on Facebook. And make sure that we say it at the beginning and end of each activity, each workshop, seminar. Plus in all
I don't see that
literature.
working that way. Okay, I'd rather do it the opposite, where people buy tickets by donation, and it could be any amount. They could. Who did that? Biden did it, actually. And some of the donations, the big musicians that donated to Biden, what they did is they had to buy a ticket. It could be any amount. They could donate $10 or 25 or 100 or whatever. And by getting that one ticket, you get into everything for the weekend. But the donations were up front. Yeah, we could do the donations out back, but we
Can you
really
do
need
that
money.
via
So this really needs to.
Does Eventbrite allow you to make choose what donations you make, or maybe
Yes.
they're tiered donations
Yes.
that you recommend?
Well, here's the thing. Eventbrite will be good for two reasons. One, it's great for accounting for the tickets. People can choose the different price ranges. They can come back and buy another ticket, if they want to donate more. Eventbrite is also great because they do a lot of advertising for you. They do collect, what is it, 2% roughly. But I think it's a reasonable fee for exposure alone. I know that it has brought people in when I did outdoor festivals, with Touch Mother Earth.
And
now,
maybe when we
Cheryl's
structure
idea is basically
different price ranges, we can say like, this level, we suggested donation X number of dollars gets you in, just the basic description of gets you in, and then a higher price point, this, gets you in and helps, cover, just so you describe like what this kind of each ticket, how much the value benefits the work.
Well, we could write it different ways. So we could say that $10 could be 10 to 25 could be the range to donate for your choice of 1 to 3 topics over the weekend. 25 to 100 is the suggested donation that covers the entire weekend. And what Cheryl is saying though, that
whether they can access one topic or 3 or
you don't. It's an honor system. The problem that Cheryl is thinking about is the only way Eventbrite would be helpful in that one way is if you release the link to something, whatever that something is, once they've purchased a ticket. Now, if we're going live on Facebook, everyone has access to that link, unless you make every single invite a private event, and once you make it private, then you can no longer advertise those.
Yeah, no, I agree with Cheryl. You make it accessible. You buy a ticket for
How
the
do you advertise them? And okay.
Yeah, but
and then every single event has. All right, Diana, what you're saying works exactly if everything is funneled through one link. If everything came out on YouTube Live and you only got access to that YouTube Live once you bought a ticket, that would be great. And Zoom can attach to Live. We haven't done it, But that would be our best way to do it, would be to only release the link once you buy a ticket. But the
Let me,
fact is, we're going to be doing stuff live on Facebook. How do they not pay? How do they pay for the ticket if they can watch it for free? It's got to
yeah,
be by honor.
You don't
it
go
is by
Facebook
honor.
Live.
And let me be clear
Yeah,
also.
you
what I'm
don't do
saying.
Facebook
Hang on a second.
One at a time.
Yeah, I just want to be clear. What I'm suggesting isn't that you get a different link for a different ticket. It's just that it's encouraging people to pay more because you, in the description, say this helps us reach more, people, or reach our, it helps us with our mission. So like each higher tier
Absolutely.
explains that, but they're
Okay, that
still
would be
getting the same
another.
link for the event.
Yes, I think that the pointers to get you to donate money could be either because you want the event, or because you want the cause, or because you want Touch Mother Earth always. All of those are important reasons, and we should include our upcoming projects. I mean, it might go towards offsetting the rental cost of a warehouse where we'd be renting for $100 instead of 50, and $50 goes to offset to cover the extra costs, and then everybody else can go and do something live in January. Because the money has gone into a pool to make more projects available during the harder times, or the
Yeah,
costlier
or you can
times.
even
Okay, so
specify
logistically,
for the budget of what the expense is going to cover too.
Yeah, I like that. I definitely like that they
right.
see what it's
So
going into.
also logistically, as an example, they don't get the Zoom password for the dinner meetings unless they have a ticket. So we
That we could
control
do, yeah.
Zoom 100%. Okay, and other things on Facebook Live, maybe it's not live. Maybe we're recording what's going on and they get a private link to YouTube of the event that took place if it's not
Right.
interactive. And if it's interactive, then we're playing the YouTube on Zoom so that people can talk about what they're seeing. So the shared screen stays on the presentation on Zoom, and then people can interact about that presentation, whether that is, qigong or a meditation or a music or a fire circle or something. But
You're talking about
basically we
premiering
control
it.
it better. Yeah.
You're talking about
She's
premiering it.
suggesting
Watch it
funneling the
live.
event through
Yeah.
Zoom.
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
called premiering. I've never done that, but I know what you're talking about.
Well, premiering just
Yeah,
means you're
because
releasing a
we could do a
video and you're announcing
screen
it as a
share at any
premiere.
time and show a video.
I think what Cheryl's saying
Okay,
just
so
makes
let's
sense.
go, Dave. Okay, so Dave, you have enough time, enough what you need. I want to
Yeah,
go the meeting on because we're moving time long. Okay, so you
sure.
have the content and an idea and people to connect to and to put
Yes.
together this agenda for the festival and stuff. Okay, I want to talk about a couple of more things before we stop. The first thing is I talked about that I'm doing a LinkedIn campaign as well as for this, as an example, we're going to start the Facebook campaign. As soon as the election's over, people are being asked for too much money right now, and it's just interfering. So we need to not launch Facebook until that. But I just want to tell you that my LinkedIn campaign is actually three-pronged. One prong is, as we talked about, we're getting volunteers to basically help us with video editing and with marketing and everything else. And I have it listed as a job. The second is I'm just straight out asking for money, basically, and donations coming up. Okay, but the third thing that you don't know about is I'm actually asking for donations of land anywhere in the country. I mean, I'm a realtor. Okay, I have 8,000 contacts on LinkedIn. and all of them are in real estate. And a lot of times I hear investors say, oh, I got an acre of land over there. I don't know what to do with it. It's been sitting there for 15 years. So I'm doing a campaign on LinkedIn to ask for land, because if we get land, we can run a festival or an event on that land, okay, or I could resell it or repurpose it in a different way. So I'm asking for that. I'm also asking for even
before you move
farmers
beyond that,
who, since we're 50,
Cheryl, before you
wait,
move beyond that, I just want to jump in real quick because I just got the chills. I just got like serious chills hearing that, because what I'm working on with Chris Rockefeller Lindstrom and my investor pool, as you know, kind of, is putting together the shareholder structure so that we can eventually release an equity campaign for all of this land in a global land trust where we can then replicate these festivals. So hearing that just gave me the chills, and I just wanted to say thank you for doing that.
absolutely. Absolutely, because I'm figuring, I'm even going after farmers, for example, that have 200 acres, and then their neighbor has another 200 acres, and I'm asking them, can we have 2 acres in the middle, which you don't use because you're too close to the bleed over and stuff. We're just going to put tents there and do outside events or lead children, you know, into outside nature walks, that type of thing. So going after, being a 501c and knowing that they could write off those 5 acres that they would normally not use is just part of that giving. You know, we're talking about Thanksgiving and asking them to, you know, or they need tax write-off, or a lot of investors I know, they hold on to things and they get these tax bills because they have to pay the taxes even though the land's not doing anything. Well, we're 501c, we don't pay taxes. So if you donate to us, you get the taxes to go away, okay, because we don't pay taxes, okay, and you get to write off what you gave us and everything. So it's a big campaign. I'm excited about it, you know, but again, I need the video and
yeah, let's you and me talk more, because like media is one thing, but that land donation structure is something you and me need to hone in on, because I'm meeting a lot of people in big money real estate too, through my top talent networks. So let's check you and me in on that later.
Okay. Well, that's where my real estate background comes in. So I know how to structure these deals and stuff and what to do with it. You know, even if somebody gives me something that they can't move, in restructuring it, because it doesn't cost them anything for us. See, they're trying to get, you know, their $150,000 back, right? We are given the land, so we don't have any backup, so they can't sell it because it's worth $100,000 and they keep holding on to it. We could sell it for $100,000 and be funded. That would totally fund us. So these creative type of, you know, donation participation using land, you know, and money and equipment. That's the other thing that
Yes.
we need.
I just want to say I love you. I love your brain. I love your brain.
we need
so
phones
great.
that don't have marks in them. We need cameras. We need microphones. I definitely need microphones here, and Dave needs a microphone. So we need equipment, and so we're going to structure a letter to Disney and some firms like that, actual production companies, and ask them for their old equipment, because the 4th donation that we were working on and we achieved was we got my son's company to donate a huge amount of equipment to us, and they don't need it anyway, it's all surplus, but we get to sell it now on eBay. Okay, and then that money will go into our donation and stuff. And we're a 501c, so they wrote off basically this year. They're writing off their donation to us. We've taken the equipment and we're going to resell the equipment on the fair market, whatever it brings. So we're really excited about some of these opportunities. We'd like to hear some of you guys' opportunity, you know, ideas also. We've heard a lot about from Jenny, but
I just love how
Carla
this is
suggested
calling
one.
in the gift economy, like this just calling in this change in how, you know, we support each other and do business and create community and survive and thrive Just calling in that gift.
Absolutely.
Beautiful. Love it.
Carla made a suggestion, which we could do along with, the donating land. There are many businesses that would like to have more people come or get other recognition. So her suggestion, she could donate some monthly passes where people can come to her yoga center and explore the different topics, that she covers. It's far more, she's got sound healing, a variety of topics of types of yoga, live drumming, music, etc. So somebody getting a pass, those passes could be used as incentives. If somebody donates $100 or $150, they could you will give them a monthly pass as a thank you.
You do a
But yeah, if we
raffle.
can get other people to do,
Yeah, you could
or
do a
we could raffle them.
to like I could donate, a
Sure.
couple sessions. It could be whatever. People donate services or a product, a gift bundle. Gift bundles, craft baskets would be perfect because we're going into Christmas. Someone might win a nice little, holiday basket to give to someone. So yeah, like a raffle would be a good way to generate some cash too.
That is good. I know that a lot of people have things that are sitting around. Maybe it was gifted to them. They're never going to use it. It's brand new. We can gather soaps and incense and tinctures. People, they change their label and they still have a few in stock left of their old label. Give them to us, whatever it is. You bought something new. They changed the packaging. The size is different. The
Yeah, and
ingredients are different. Whatever it is.
the monetary value doesn't have to equal what they're donating either. They're just gonna win.
True.
Like I could donate. I have a few different meditations on and Rahma Mystery College, a few different downloadable meditations of different price ranges that can be raffled off. I can donate,
Okay.
an intuitive reading session or, a
Yes.
therapy
Yes.
counseling session that can be gifted to someone else, that they could win in a raffle. People can choose what they want.
I like that.
To buy in.
We should come up with some creative donations, like you can take any one item that is in my freezer. So the person that wins it gets to come over unannounced and they could just take anything in your freezer, whatever it is.
That's fun. I like random things like that, Dave.
Okay, so
I mean, something
what
like
we're
that,
gonna do is we're gonna take what you guys said, put together a sponsorship letter, which includes Diana and Cole and myself, okay, and Touch Mother Earth and some of those things in the tiers. And then we'll also put together a bigger sponsorship letter asking for other people to donate to the tier. And we'll get that out this week so that we have, requests for the tier, and we'll put your things in. So email us like what you were saying, what you're offering, and Carla, what you're offering and stuff, and just put a little blurb, to your website, what you're offering, an hour of yoga or whatever, and we'll do the same, and then we'll get others to do that.
Yeah, be very specific, like if you're offering 10 passes or if you're offering 2 sessions of 1 hour each, or one one-on-one session, etc. And we'll get those. This is wonderful. And people can donate, used computer equipment, used sound equipment. If we can't use it, we'll sell it.
Yeah.
This is good, guys. This is really good.
So
I like our committee.
For the record, I understand accents aside, but my name is pronounced Diana. It's an
Yes.
sound. So it's okay if you don't get it right, but I
And the
thought
Y
I'd
is like an
say
E.
here. It's not even, it's like
Okay.
almost 2 syllables. Diana.
Okay. This accent is in the
I
middle.
think it's 3
Nah. Okay.
syllables, no? Like
Yeah.
Diana.
Diana.
Well, the way my mother
Oh.
taught it to me, it's Diana. It's not broken up into Diana. It's Diana.
Got it.
Okay.
Yeah. Diana.
Yeah,
Diana.
exactly.
Thank you for sharing that. I think I was pronouncing your name right the whole time, but but thank you for sharing
We
that.
were all pronouncing it differently.
Yeah. When we first met you at Columnsile, I remember going, every time I would go to pronounce it, I was like, I got to make sure I say it right this time. So sorry. We will get better at it. And I totally do this with my students. I always say, learn to pronounce how somebody wants it to be pronounced. If I go to Italy, I don't say, I say Firenze. I don't say Florence.
Well, I grew up in New York
So,
City with all kinds of accents. So I grew up with my name being pronounced all kinds of ways. But, as I'm nearing 50, I'm finding, it's okay to ask or to clarify how my name sounds. But I won't be offended if you don't get it right. But I
no,
just
and
take a moment.
no, I love that because we have a friend, Letitia. It's not Leticia. I used to always pronounce it Leticia, and it's Letitia. So, yeah, it's embarrassing because I'm there announcing. The person, they're getting ready to perform, and I said, I'd like them to welcome Leticia Gutierrez. And I don't even think I said the last name right. So it's important. People's names, that's your resonance. You've heard your name all your life. You heard it in the womb when they were picking a name for you. So it's very important to have that feeling come out correctly. I love it. Any other ideas, guys? I think we've covered
Cheryl,
our
you're
topics.
muted. You're muted, Cheryl.
Yeah. So any other issues that we need to discuss right now? Because we have a lot to do for Thanksgiving and for the thing. Does anybody else want to have anything they want to add in? Please unmute yourself to talk.
I think we're good.
Okay. Dave, we covered everything you wanted to cover?
Yeah, I'm pretty happy. I'm sure there'll be some more topics for the Friendsgiving once we get it really generated. We haven't created the event itself yet because we didn't want to put it out without enough accuracy and enough detail to get people's. Plus, we have to have the pricing structure built in and how we're going to sell the tickets. So thank you guys for reminding us of things like Eventbrite. And I'm going to talk to my friend Andre. He's been going live every Monday with Meatless Monday, and he always does it through Zoom, but lately he's been doing it with YouTube using Zoom on YouTube Live. And I think once you have the Zoom, that already takes out the worry about the microphones and the mixing, all of that. The signal just gets sent from Zoom directly to Facebook Live. So if we choose to do that, YouTube Live. So if we choose to go that way, then the YouTube Live becomes the link we want to sell.
Okay, I think we have some good marching orders and we have a lot of things to do. Jenny and I will get together about that fundraising. Pat, you should probably be edited in there too. We'll talk about some of those things, some of the local investors going on and stuff. Now I'm afraid to say your name, Dan.
It's okay.
Now that I just did that, we'll talk about, like, send me, what you're donating. Carla, send me what you're donating. I know what I'm donating, and we'll put that together, and I'll put together a sponsorship letter really quickly, and that has to go out before we announce the event too, because we don't have all the tiers unless we have some of the sponsorships. But there's a lot going on here and stuff. The other thing that I wanted to let you guys know is that I added, and also doing business ads to the nonprofit, because our legal name, because we're incorporated in New Jersey, was Touch Mother Earth New Jersey Nonprofit. And so I added Touch Mother Earth Nonprofit with the dash in it. So now we can use Touch Mother Earth Nonprofit. And then next month, it costs us $50 each time we do this. So next month, we're going to add Touch Mother Earth Productions into the name also. So all three of those names can be used in lieu of the nonprofit. I just wanted to let you guys know that that has been done already. On the next one, will go, as soon as I can do
I
that.
thought of another idea. I don't know if you already talked about like cooking for this holiday weekend, but specifically like anybody who wants to be in the kitchen actually cooking something, like you're cooking together, or it could be what you do with the leftovers. Like, what's your favorite?
I like that.
Creative cooking with leftovers. Creative cooking with
Thanksgiving
leftovers. There you go.
leftovers, yeah. All right.
I would go for it, It's the third day with the same mashed potatoes. What are you going to do,
Who's speaking? Dave?
No, I got it. I'm typing out leftovers.
Oh, okay. He's typing that out. Okay. Anybody else want to add anything before we leave? I don't want to take you guys' time more than I have to. And I know we're going to need more time later on. So it's kind of like a reserve and use our time wisely. Jenny, you and I need to speak, and we'll sit down and scope some of that.
Yeah, you and I can definitely set up a meeting, but I did just want to say to everyone, and Carla, I know you put a lot of great ideas in the chat, and Deanna, I also heard so many great ideas, and Dave and Patricia. I don't know if I heard too much from you today, but I know you're here, and I just wanted to say that all of us showing up for this has inspired me so much, because I've been feeling so alone, and it's so great to have you guys in my corner, and you guys are doing so much good work. So I just wanted to say thank you. You guys are so inspiring, and you're doing the work on the ground, and it inspires me to keep going. So thank you.
Oh my goodness,
Thank you, Jenny. And
you are reciprocally inspiring me all the time. Every time.
Yeah, where are you talking about? It's
too directional. You open your mouth.
Really, Jenny, you're rocking right now.
Up. Yeah, we hold each other
up. We are family.
You're rocking right now. You've got TV. Just tell us how you think Touch Mother Earth can.
Yes, everything is rapidly happening, but also slow. Like, we're at a critical mass, but the critical mass hasn't reached the other side of the angel investors yet. Like, it's there, they're watching, they're looking, they're curious, but we're just still, it's like, but now there's Kiss the Ground coming out was huge for us, guys. If you haven't watched Kiss the Ground,
so good.
Huge. And we know those people are getting connected to those producers. So like, it's happening.
You rock. You really do. You're so inspiring. It's amazing to me.
Everybody just keep being you and contribute in the way that you are most aligned, and where one of us goes, we all go.
Ashe.
This way, Jenny. We are all right now we are collecting all the ingredients. We're waiting for the potluck. The potluck is about to happen. We can feel it. It's coming. We're having samples, but right now we're still collecting the ingredients. And that's great because once we have that huge collection, we're going to have a smorgasbord.
Oh, yes, we are. And we're going to have that smorgasbord. It's going to have little infomercials on our TV network called Farm Bites.
Well, let's keep
I love it.
hold of the vision. Let's keep hold of the vision. The vision is to have all these donated lands where we could have our festivals and events all over the country, and the camera crew constantly there, and that feeding to nursing homes and to people at home,
That is
and
a beautiful
to
vision.
rehabilitate.
Let's put it in the
And
present.
stuff. All this outside stuff we're doing feeds their soul, feeds their spirit, so that they can say, oh, I feel like I'm at the beach with her. I feel like I'm out in the garden, as your garden grows and stuff. Oh, I'm watching Jenny walk around the country. This is cool.
Let's hold that vision in the present tense as it already exists, right? In metaphysical world, it's already in spirit existing, and it is so be it.
We are the ones we've been waiting for. All thank you for
it
a
exists
beautiful board
already.
meeting. I look forward to doing this more often with you, family. Thank you.
All right, guys.
Okay. Bye, everybody. Thank you.
This concludes our meeting. Bye-bye.
Please send your email with what your sponsorship,
I will.
blurbs are, so we can put the flyer together.
Will do. Okay. Bye for now.